Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney and today we are doing the mid-year book freakout tag. Before I joined booktube, these videos were my favorite things to watch, so I'm really excited to actually be participating and making one this year. I haven't really looked at the questions too much, so we're kind of gonna wing it. I've been eating brownies, so I really hope that I don't have stuff in my teeth. Even though this is like a mid-year freakout tag, I'm actually really chill right now because let me tell you, my first Goodreads goal that I gave myself for this year, since this is like the first full year that I'm really back into reading, is I gave myself a goal of 20 books this year. And then I was at like 13 in like February or March or something. So I upped it to 30 and now it is the beginning of June and I already hit 30. Like, I'm feeling really good. So I have a soft goal of 50. I don't want to like make it official. I guess I just made it official, but it's fine. I have a soft goal of 50, but if I could do that, that would be incredible. That's more books in 1 year than I've read in the past like 5 years. But let's just start answering the questions. So the first one is the best book you've read so far in 2020. It's tied right now between Crooked Kingdom and Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. I never thought that I would be considering a Sarah J. Maas book. I don't know. I just never really thought that I would be a Sarah J. Maas stan, but here we are. It's happening. Because this book ruined my life in the best way possible. Yeah, that was noisy, Avi. Come on up. Come on. Hello. I don't know which one to pick because literally while reading both of these, I had very similar feelings. I didn't want either of them to end. Both of them made me cry, and both of them are my babies now. Like, I will never get rid of them. So that's the best answer that you're getting for right now. Well, the next question's really easy. It's what's the best sequel you've read in 2020? And that's Crooked Kingdom. So there's a definite answer for you. Crooked Kingdom is the sequel in the duology for the Six of Crows duology. However, I guess on Goodreads they put in a third book to the duology. That makes it not a duology, so I'm really confused. But they put in a possible third book to the Six of Crows duology. I don't know. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I would be super excited to read more of this story. But yeah, this is the best sequel I've read this year. I loved everything about it. I sobbed at the end because I was so sad that it was over. Not even because it was like a sad ending. It was a really nice ending. But I was just distraught that the story was over. Third question is a new release that you haven't read yet but you want to. For this one, I'm going to go with Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. The spine is gorgeous. Book itself without the dust jacket, like what is this? It is stunning. Can we talk about it? Clap When You Land follows two sisters, I believe. One of them lives in New York and one of them lives in the Dominican Republic. And the sister that lives in the Dominican Republic looks forward to her father coming to visit her every summer. However, the plane that her father was on crashes and he never makes it there. So now these two girls are forced to live in a new reality and learn from each other in an unthinkable situation where they no longer have their father. Elizabeth Acevedo is the same author that wrote The Poet X, and I loved The Poet X, and I'm very excited to pick this up soon. Another one I kind of want to mention is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I am not a romance person, or so I thought I wasn't. I was watching a vlog from Allie over at Miss Dunn Reads, and she was talking about this book, and it just sounds really good. It's about two writers, a male and a female. The male writes literary fiction, and then the woman writes best-selling romance books. And for the summer, or the next 3 months or so, these two writers are living in neighboring beach houses, and they are both experiencing a severe case of writer's block. So in order to get themselves out of this writer's block, they agree to swap genres and write a new story. And honestly, this kind of sounds like the type of romance that I might be into. I'm really excited to give it a shot and see if it kind of warms me up to the genre a little bit more. The next question, my ears are allergic to metal, and I had these earrings in for a total of maybe 15 minutes now, and they're already burning, so no more looking cute, I gotta get rid of them. Okay, anyways, the next question is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And, okay, so we all know that I'm new to booktube, so I am already feeling very bombarded with the amount of books that I want to read. So I'm not super on top of the game of what's coming out really soon yet, but I do have an answer because I am on NetGalley and I have been browsing, and I have gotten approved for a couple arcs. I'm very excited about it. And I found one, I'm not going to say it's like my most anticipated release that's coming up because I don't know if it is or not, but it's one that I am looking forward to. It's called Under Shifting Stars by Alexandra Latos. But this story in particular is about Audrey and Claire, and they are twins, and growing up they've always been each other's best friends. But when their brother dies, they kind of drift apart because Claire thinks that Audrey is the reason that their brother died, so she is in an alternative school. And Audrey thinks that Claire is still like living her best life and doesn't know that her popular status is kind of crumbling beneath her. And apparently Claire has been dressing in Adam's, their brother who died, his old clothes, and is now interested in her non-binary classmate. So not only is she dealing with her brother's death and her sister being in an alternative school, she's also struggling with her gender fluidity. All in all, this book sounds like it'll have a really good family dynamic, as well as the fact that it has LGBTQ plus representation in there. So if I don't get approved for it on NetGalley, obviously I'm still going to be reading it. The next question is, what was the biggest disappointment that you've read so far? And that one's super easy, and that is The Other People by CJ Tudor. I need to get rid of this book because it just kind of makes me angry every time I look at it. I know some people really liked this book, and I wanted to like it so much. I was really expecting it to be like up there, like a 4 or 5 stars, but I gave it like a 2, I think. Like, I don't know, man. It just didn't do it for me. The Other People is about a little girl who gets kidnapped from her family, and her father is driving home from work one day and sees her child in the back of the car in front of him. So this father saw his child after she was kidnapped, and he couldn't do anything about it. But there's a twist because back at home, the cops are at his house while this is happening because someone broke into his house and killed his wife and daughter. But he just saw his daughter in a car taking off, so that's part of the whole, like, what's happening type thing. So he spends basically his whole life driving up and down that one highway looking for that one car that held his child in it. And it's supposed to have also like a paranormal aspect to it that comes into play later. And doesn't that sound really good? Yeah, it does. But it wasn't. I think that CJ Tudor was like trying to do way too many things at once. I think that the paranormal aspect was a very interesting part, but they didn't explain it enough, and it was just kind of like a unnecessary part, in my opinion. I know some people really liked that part, and I wanted to, but it was just kind of more confusing than anything else. I felt like it just didn't belong. But yeah, unfortunately I'll probably unhaul this book real soon. The next question is the biggest surprise that you have read this year. I mean, I would say Crescent City, but in order to have a little diversity, I think that I'm going to say Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes is a memoir about Caitlin Doughty's life on her road to becoming a mortician. And she starts out by working in a crematory, so we learn a lot of things throughout this book. We learn about what goes into cremation, and also just death in general. Like, there were a lot of lessons that were learned, and if you remember, if you saw my other videos, you know that, like, I was kind of nervous about reading this book because death as a topic is something that kind of scares me. I'm not, like, at peace with the fact that I'm gonna die and be no longer living one day. But this book actually kind of helped me feel more comfortable about it, I guess. Now, in my opinion, I don't really like rating memoirs too much, but like I'm super comfortable giving this 5 stars, like I said before, because the story itself was told in a way that was so well written, and it brought in so many different lessons from like all around the world of how other cultures view death or view a cremation process or anything like that. Like all of the orange tabs were point of views from different cultures, and I learned a lot while reading this. But it was funny, it was really well done, and I would definitely recommend this to so many people. Next question is a new favorite author, a debut or new to you. And I'm gonna use like a new to me author. I just finished, like yesterday, Camp by L.C. Rosen, and I am super comfortable in saying that L.C. Rosen is one of my new favorite authors. And though off the top of my head I'm not sure what his other books are, regardless I would be definitely into giving them a shot because I really love how he wrote this book. It was one of those books for me that I was reading literally all day, but it felt like I was only reading for an hour. And I didn't have to take a mental break and look at my phone in between like 50 or 100 pages or so. Like, it was just so easy to read and so entertaining. So I would definitely love to check out more of L.C. Rosen's books. And also another one that was new to me, not new to most people, but Alice Oseman. I love this series so much. I have Radio Silence here that I know I need to get to. I have Solitaire somewhere. I think it's downstairs. No, it's also right here. It's also right there. So those are obviously on my TBR, but just by how she told this story so far, I know there's more coming, which I'm super excited about. But I really love how she handles certain situations with like heavy topics like eating disorders and self-harm and things like that. I thought how she handled it in the third book in particular, in Heartstopper, was very good, and I loved all of the illustrations. Like, I don't know, I just really appreciated this, and it really put Alice Oseman at the top of my list for sure. But I also do have to say A.S. King. Like, I adored this book. Even though it was kind of like a heavy book, the way that A.S. King writes is definitely one of my favorite things now. Even though this book talked about some pretty serious topics like rape and racism and things like that, A.S. King did it in a way that didn't make it seem complacent or not a big deal, because obviously it is, but she did it in a way that didn't make it feel too heavy. And I don't know how she did it, but she did, and it was incredible. The story itself, super weird, but super good. And I think that her writing style is intelligent and very well done. So A.S. King as well is a new favorite author. The next one is Newest Fictional Crush. That one's easy. Kind of, I guess. I have to say Hunt from Crescent City, because I don't think I need to explain everything about him in this book. Just, we love a damaged character who gets reformed. But also, I have to say Kaz Brecker. I will always love Kaz Brecker. I don't care. Maybe there's a theme here. Whatever. I don't care. Kaz and Hunt have my heart. You guys know I love Caleb, but Kaz and Hunt, they have my fictional heart. Alright, number 9 is your newest favorite character. And I think that I will tie in 2 characters into this, because essentially neither of them work without the other. If you've read the book, you'll know what I mean. But I'm going to go with Roger and Dodger from Middle Game. This cover will always be one of my favorites forever. It's creepy and I love it. Roger and Dodger are twins, but they're not exactly human, and they have a creator who created them, obviously. His name is Reed, and he has a goal for Roger and Dodger to take him to the impossible city. And the tagline of this book is, "Godhood is attainable, pray it isn't attained." And it is a wild ride. I loved this book so much. I became so involved in Roger and Dodger's life because you kind of watch them grow up throughout this book. As characters themselves, Roger is really good at English and words and language, and Dodger is really good at math and equations and things. So they work together as one to hopefully fulfill the prophecy that was set out for them. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. And I feel like it might be a little difficult for me to cry at a book. And I am just going to use both of these again, because I sobbed at both of them. So Crooked Kingdom's tears were more of that story was absolutely incredible, and I am so sad that it's over and I won't be reading it anymore. And then Crescent City's tears were more wow, I'm actually sobbing because this story is ruining my life. I have a spoiler-free reaction vlog to me reading this book in real time. As you keep going throughout that vlog, it gets pretty ridiculous because the mood changes in this book from the top of a paragraph to the bottom of the same exact paragraph. You'll be happy one second and then you'll be devastated the very next. This book ruined me. Now 11 is a book that made you happy. And I'm gonna go with the Heartstopper series for this one, because I know that this is a series that I'll be able to go back to and read them super quickly if I'm ever feeling like I was in a rut or just needed something quick to make me feel better about life. And now that I'm thinking about it, this series actually did make me cry as well, so that could also be applicable for the last question. But they were happy tears, they weren't sad tears. And yeah, I keep these books right by my watch where it charges overnight, so that when I grab it in the morning, I see these, and it just makes me happy. I just love them. Number 12 is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. And for this question, I'm going to say Felix Ever After, and I don't need to even explain it because it is absolutely stunning. Felix Ever After is about a queer, transgender, black teenager. And because of that, he fears that he is one marginalization too many. And even though his last name is Love, he has never been in love. And on the cover, you can see his top surgery scars showing through his tank top. And the colors are just absolutely stunning. Like, I don't think I need to explain it anymore. Like, it's beautiful. Also, without the dust jacket, it's yellow, which obviously I love. And the words on the side are pink. And it's just all in all, it's a gorgeous book. I'm a big fan. And if you can't tell, I'm reading it right now. Oh boy. The last one is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I'm just going to say a bunch of titles that are sitting around me because there's a lot. I'm surrounded by them. Clap When You Land, The Way You Make Me Feel, They Both Die at the End, The Bone Witch, The Poppy War, Starry Eyes, A Little Life, Sadie, Bunny, Ninth House, A Court of Thorn and Roses, A Winter's Promise, The Weight of the Stars, The Heart of the Circle, Everything I Never Told You, Skyward, King of Scars, Priory of the Orange Tree, Foundry Side, Diviners, A Darker Shade of Magic, The Raven Boys, Radio Silence, and I'm not even going to say Infinite Jest because I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. Carry On, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Girl Made of Stars, I Wish You All the Best, Astonishing Color of After, Beach Read, On the Come Up, Girl in Translation, Something in Between. Literally, there's so many. Regardless, all the ones I listed are all ones that I want to get to ASAP. But I think that's all I have for you guys. Don't forget that still in the description of my videos, you can still find that link to support the Black Lives Matter movement. It is not going away, even though it's not trending all the time now. Sign petitions, donate if you are able, and don't forget to subscribe, like this video. I appreciate your support, and as always, be kind to one another and happy reading.